Hey Patreon, once again guys, thank you for your support. Want to go ahead and show you basically this Bears offense, 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, you know, 2 tight ends, 2 wide running backs versus open defense. What I mean by open defense would be like anything where you've got basically your defensive backs set up and you've got a 2 high safety shell. That's going to be an open defense where the reason why it's classified as open is that you have the ability to go ahead and hit a post over the middle of the field, and that's why it's classified as open. So we're going to run this against cover 2 coverages. I found cover 2 was probably a little bit more challenging to basically really have a lot of broad way to attack your opponent, but usually a lot of people that run cover 2 will give up some huge plays. I didn't really necessarily, I found a couple plays that actually would expose it for 1-play touchdowns, but they patched the game and some of those things were taken out. I really wasn't working any kind of like sidelines just to try to expose stuff. I just wanted to get some kind of a video out like this. Basically, you know, with this doubles play, I got the drag, I've got the inside whip. Really I'm watching this guy first, and I'm going to go ahead and try to throw to that, but I'm going to check it underneath, and you can see because of it's playing like a cover 2 Tampa 2, those guys are going to expand out and play the sidelines. But this is just such a great play. This is a play that you can use pretty much in every type of defensive situation just because it will find the holes in that. Now, one other thing I did discover too is that you can run basically kind of a streak smash concept to put this defender in conflict. Now this particular play is a play action with a deep out with the tight end, and I'm basically going to make a couple adjustments. The challenge is that you probably want to hit this ball if you're playing this side of the hash, and the reason why is that this defender actually has to play a little bit further over, and this is going to give you a little bit more room to be able to throw that sideline pass. So you probably only, if you're running against someone who's running a lot of cover 2, you want to make sure you're on this side of the hash if you're going to go and do this setup. You'll see me some situations to try to throw it. The ball actually gets overthrown and contested because I had to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker. Right here, similar situation. I threw the ball a little bit early because the defender actually came in, but you'll see that I'm able to complete it. It's just that the spacing is just not good enough for this good play. If you're gonna streak your guy up, you're gonna use that little smash or use that fade concept. You have to get rid of that ball pretty quick. Make sure it's uncontested to be able to do that. But you can pick up some pretty easy yards if you got a guy that runs a lot of cover 2 against you. Other play, basically spacing. Another play to go ahead and use simple same progressions and reads as previously. So you want to take a look at the close breakdown of this of the 12 personnel. Really, I'm just making my progressions from left to right. What's cool about this here play is you could flip it too, but really just do, this is going to be your 1, this is going to be your 2, this is going to be your 3, and then obviously your 4 is to the outside. I really don't look to this flat route. It's something I don't look to, even though in some certain defenses, matching defenses, you can actually hit it. I'm not going to try to hit that, but you can see this little curl route right here is opened up for some big gainers. So that's what I really do love about this shooter play. It's very, very effective for that. So can you go and jump into this once again? And then you could see a little thing right over the middle was wide open. So his user is going to have to take that away, and it basically kind of opens up the other route combinations. Now, another play that's really, really good against cover 2. So if I got a guy who's running cover 2, this is probably your best play. I've decided that I want to cancel this out, and I'd rather go ahead and just block this running back and drag this guy up because the animation basically kind of messes up everything up. It's just better to do a drag route. It's more consistent, more predictable. But if you have basically this route streaking and you've got a C route or corner route by the outside defender or outside wide receiver, he's going to get past the zone, and you'll be able to complete that and get a nice little rack animation against your opponent. Sometimes I've seen earlier too that if you go back to this play, this dagger play, you do get this defender that's going to pull out of position. This good defender will pull out of position, and you can actually hit this ball. I might have to change up my pass lead settings because it's been very difficult for me to try to hit over the middle of the field. Another option would be to do like a post route, but stem that post up so that you get up right here and then actually do the cut in. They'll actually give you kind of a little bit better action. But I don't know how this guy would react. If the middle safety or the mid read will actually react to that post, like if they knows that he's doing a post. But you can see right here, I had an opportunity to hit that. Maybe if I waited maybe a split second more, I probably could have hit it. But it just takes a long time for that play to develop. So, but it's really about that C route by more. That's going to be the area that you want to go and look to. Play action is probably something you want to get out of. I'm just finding that I'm getting myself tied up. The running back is not getting into the flat quick enough to pull the defender down. So I would just rather go and cancel him out. Now here's another good play that I've looked at, which is mesh. One thing I discovered is that if you streak this guy up, sometimes this mid read does not follow. He actually gets out of position, and you actually can throw that streak because the mid read doesn't follow. That forces a person's user to do that. But you have the little drag route that you can hit underneath it on both sides of the field. And then you have the in route on the back side that you can hit. So if you got basically an open coverage like this where it's either cover 4 or cover 2, your best bet is to do this. One thing too, you want to go ahead and take this guy up instead of actually having him cut in right here. Take him up one more notch, and that gets past the depths of the linebackers more consistently, and not allow those linebackers to get in position. But so here, as you can see, you can get an opportunity. Combat didn't come down with it, but that route, if the defender doesn't float over to it, you can actually hit that for an easy completion and force him to defend the seam. So it's just something I've discovered in the lab, especially against these open formations, that I'm going to streak that guy up because a little hitch route, there's, you know, against cover 4 match, you probably want to go and use that little hitch route if you want to use a different type of setup. Right here, I'm actually getting a little bit creative with the thing. You can see how this defender actually fell deep, and then the mid read actually respected that. So that's where a post really doesn't come in when it comes to that's where you want to go jack it down to little drag routes underneath it. So you know, that's just another way to go and set things up. Let's see if I jump into another play. Now just go and jump into this. I think I hit what I do with more is I'm going to hit the corner on the back side, the deep dig route. Deep dig route, basically this guy, this drag route pulls this guy down. He's got to play deep half, so the deep dig route should be available over the middle of the field. And if this guy matches up on this streak, that backside dig is going to be available. So right here, I'm still checking it down. Probably should have cut that out of this video. Let's see one more time. We're going to go and jump into this. Single high safety. This is an inverted cover 2, so probably wouldn't be looking to this particular play right here, but you can see streak route. I can actually hit that really quick right here, and then we're going to go and jump into the zone. Now we're going to go and jump into cover 4 zone, which is going to be the cover 4 drop zone. This is actually a little bit more of a difficult defense to play against because these guys play pretty good zone coverages, and they don't extend out really far. So I guess if you're playing against an opponent who's playing hard flats, cover 4, these plays will open up a little bit more on the inside. But you can see that if you just wait a split second, these route combinations will open up against your opponent if he's playing cover 4 zone. Play action dig. This is play action tight end. This is one of the reasons. One of the things I did is I decided to go ahead and just knock this guy up another 5 yards so it gets a little bit more depth. And the reason why, you'll see how wide open this out route becomes. This is a good way to go and have action where I'm going to attack my opponent with something a little bit slightly different from what he's normally seeing. So he's been getting attacked in different areas, and right here I'm going to go ahead and hit this guy with a stock play, and with the route I've actually opened up a little bit more. So that's what's cool about doing this against cover 4. Unless he's playing the sticks, those guys are going to flow it up. If he is playing his sticks, I can actually hit the underneath route. So here's another concept. I was just kind of playing around with this. I probably would not go back to this. So I've got basically kind of a smash concept, and you can see how this route gets kind of covered up. So that was that's just kind of a lab idea. I probably want to go to that. Spacing switch, once again, just staple play. Very easy to run. I'm just looking 1, 2, 3, 4. So went to the 3. You can see I get positioned against a defensive player like that. I'm able to go pick up a 5, easy 10-yard gainer. You could flip this play too. What's cool about it allows you to flip your play. And I'd probably want to flip this play where the wide side of the field is where the running back goes. But you can see actually go check it down underneath, right in front of a defender, because he's going to get inside leverage against the defender. Right here, we're going to go and jump into another cover 4 beater, which is going to be the C route. And against cover 4 zone drops, these guys have to play deep quarters, and they can't go ahead and play down and match. So if I streak this guy up, these two guys would have to carry and defend them, meaning this little C route is going to be available, is going to be wide open. So if you got a guy that's running a lot of cover 4 drop coverages, this is really a good thing to do. And you can see how this running back just keeps getting tied up. So I'm going to basically, garbage can that and essentially go ahead and put a drag on the backside, because he's going to get out a little bit quicker, opening up that C route on the backside. So setting this up once again, let's see if we jump into this play. Once again, we do C route. Just set this up. I'm setting up my blocking right here, and going with the drag, which is a little bit more consistent. You're going to see how the drag just gets out there quicker, so it's going to give me a faster read, and he's going to be more consistent than a play action animation. So that's what I like about it. So I'm going to go back in the mesh again. Mesh once again, streak up at the tight end, and essentially it's just this is little crossing routes underneath. That one guy actually had to carry with the streak. I'm able to go and hit a little pocket right there in that type of situation. So that's what's great about mesh. Mesh is just another staple play that you can use in a scheme, just to go ahead and do that. And what I've discovered too is I'm actually going to have like a inside zone play, and then I've got a pulling guard to be able to go ahead and take this ball back as part of the running game. So I'm going to try to blend in a running game a little bit more into this scheme against my opponents. I have a little drag route on the backside. And then I also have got the dig on the backside. I think the defenders actually play pretty good coverage right there in that type of situation. They actually kind of play, but you could see because I've got that drag that freezes the zone defender, I'm able to go ahead and hit that completion on the backside. Other plays I looked at, this play action boot was something I just really couldn't get to work too well. But here is a good play to go and use as a smash concept. If I know this guy's not playing cover 2, I don't expect cover 2, I can use a smash concept and actually go and hit that route very easily against my opponent. And then I've also got basically this spot concept on the backside where I've got a spot, a post, and all that kind of stuff. Now match is a little bit different of a coverage. I tried a bunch of different things with this. Playing against cover 4 quarters, obviously palms is a little bit differently, but most players, if they're using heavier formations against me, they're going to use the quarters. There's not going to be many palms unless they're going to be using lighter formations against me, and that means I'm going to basically have a field day with the run game. So if they're not using heavy sets with linebackers, I'm really only going to see quarters for the most part. Quarters actually kind of ties up this play pretty well, but here's this one play action, tight end out. You can see actually he gets underneath the coverage. I can go ahead and just pass lead it down. Basically get a nice completion, and that's like that's a 15-yard gainer right there. With the match, he cuts, and basically I can wait for this little crossing route on the backside defender to actually hit against my opponent. So it's about blending those particular plays in. Right here we go into this play right here, which essentially is going to be the C route with the dragging route, and also the streak. Then you'll see how the C, I can hit this drag. They're not going to match correctly, and I can get that cross underneath. And then one play that I've actually been playing around with, and I'm trying to get this thing to go. It seems like a lot of defenses are kind of picking this up a little bit. What I've discovered is if you go ahead and take this guy and put this in a corner route, what it does is messes up the matching route, and this guy is going to get easy free release that you can hit against your opponent. So when I'm using a lot of run plays, I'm hitting my guys with run plays, I can go and jump into this and actually hit this little crossing route. So that's why you want to blend in different types of plays. Here's another play too that I left into the scheme. It's really more of a cover 3 beater, but I've discovered that against cover 4, this particular route actually gets outside leverage. It doesn't get matched correctly, and it's going to allow me to, I get single coverage right there, and I get outside leverage. I can hit that corner route against anybody that's running a lot of cover 4 match against me with that particular play. So that's what's cool about it. So I'm going to set this up once again. Basically got a little crossover, streak this guy up. You're going to see me run this a couple more times, but this little that route right there, I took a shot up, but what happens is the other defender actually plays, looks for help, so you can't necessarily use that. Mesh is also a really good play. Once again, looking for the crossing routes underneath. This is where I really want to work, but you can see the defenders are actually let people go and then actually look for work. So one thing about mesh that you can really pay attention to is that deep dig route, and if you do the streak route, the deep dig route becomes super naked, and there's nobody that's actually going to do that. So if you can get that deep dig route on the backside, you can really abuse your opponent for some big yards. So you can, if you got a guy who plays a lot of cover 4 quarters against you, he's not going to get out of the defense, he's just looking for his pass responsibilities, waiting for you to make a mistake, then you can basically go ahead and hit him. A wheel route, I don't really like that. I want to have more separation, more consistent separation against my opponent, so I don't necessarily would recommend using that, but this mesh play is going to be really, really good. Right here, a little crossing route, and look where the defenders are at. They're way off the ball, allowing me to go ahead, and if I get some good blocks, that can turn into a touchdown off of a simple 15-yard dig, 20-yard dig with the mesh concept. Going back to smash, once again, similar situation. This guy actually kind of bites in, and this curl route, because this guy's playing a deep quarter, he's got a deep responsibility. So he has to basically go ahead and give up the underneath route. Smash will work for you right there. And there's a couple other plays, a couple other concepts you can use to isolate the weak side of the field. So one concept you can use is a whip and a deep comeback route. So the whip route basically will give you an opportunity to hit this little whip route, but this guy's got a deep quarter responsibility, and he has to play deep, and it's going to basically give me an opportunity. So basically what it is, I'm looking 1 and then 2, because there's really not going to be any kind of support going over to that side, and this guy's actually going to go ahead and just kind of float, looking for something to come over the middle of the field based on this route going to the outside. And because I do a whip, it gets this defender kind of out of position, and then the whip will basically go ahead and give me an opportunity to go and get an easy completion. So you can see how the defender's out of position. I've got the deep comeback route, which the wide receiver does not come down with it, but you can see that there's actually in a position right there. So we're going to go back to the whip route. So if I got basically, let's see your whip, hit the whip, easy completion. I'm picking up, what, 15 yards off of a little whip route. Really nobody falling it back into that zone. Go back to this play once again, and we're going to go ahead and use a streak whip concept. So this is another concept I like to use against quarters. Streak, whip, and I've already got a drag underneath it, so I've got my progressions. I'm going to watch these guys. These guys should carry deep, and basically 1, 2, and then I found this back guy right here, 3, is wide open. It's one of the few plays that you can jump into. It's a slightly different adjustment. Deep comeback route is available. Get a little bit tight right there, but that dragger is going to be open for us to basically go ahead and hit. And then you also have that little spot route by Loveland, which would be the tight end number 2, that you can actually go and hit against your opponent. So you watch the tight end route, wide open. So if you got a guy that's using away those passing concepts, that's basically what can happen. So once again, thank you for support, guys, and I'll be trying to roll out some more breakdowns on how to go ahead and look at this offense. So thank you for support. Until next time.